Hey guys, I'm Mark from Portsmouth Sport and welcome to week 28 of the Premier League review. If you are new to this series, what we do is we take a look at the past set of Premier League results, we take a look at the Premier League table, and we finish off by looking at the top goal scorers. So here is the past set of Premier League results. These games played on Wednesday the 8th, Saturday the 11th, and Sunday the 12th of March 2017. You may notice that half of these games are postponed due to the FA Cup, but we still had some Premier League games, so I'm still here, but expect this episode to be a lot shorter than the rest. But anyway, next to the games are their time in this video, so if you want to hear about specific matches, go to the time next to the game and you'll skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's go down to our first match. We start with Bournemouth versus West Ham. This game got off to a flying start as in the 8th minute, Bournemouth were given the perfect chance to take the lead when they were given a penalty. It came when Charlie Daniels made his way into the box before being brought down and the referee pointed to the spot. Joshua King stepped up to take it, but his penalty is wide, and Bournemouth, who are normally very good from the penalty spot, waste the opportunity to go ahead. And less than 2 minutes later, it would seem that it wouldn't be Bournemouth's day as West Ham went up the other end and scored. It came when the Bournemouth players, obviously still reeling from the penalty miss, switch off for a second, and they allow Sofiane Feghouli to nick the ball, and he squares it to Mikel Antonio, who put the ball in the far corner. After this, Bournemouth were knocking on the door, and they got what they deserved when they levelled the scoring through Joshua King. It came when King showed some great skill after receiving the ball. He then was able to flick it over his man and catching the ball on the side foot, and he made up for his earlier penalty miss. And would you believe it, in the 35th minute, Bournemouth were awarded another penalty. It came when Mark Pugh was in the box doing some nice footwork and a defender left the leg. He went down and the ref pointed to the spot again. Joshua King decided he didn't want to take this one and he handed the ball to Benik Afobe. Afobe stepped up, and for the second time in the game, Bournemouth missed from the spot, and this was a terrible penalty. It was low, it was slow, and Darren Randolph makes the save. But Bournemouth wouldn't let those misses keep them down, as 5 minutes into the second half they took the lead when Joshua King got his second. It came when a free kick is whipped into the area that is brought down by Benik Afobe to Joshua King, who was able to poke home from close range. Bournemouth had plenty more chances after this goal, but they were wasteful and West Ham made them pay, as in the 82nd minute they equalised when West Ham substitutes Sam Byram and Andrea Ayew link up with some good passing play, and it ended up with Andrea Ayew sweeping the ball into the net. But this game wasn't over, as in the 90th minute Bournemouth would steal all 3 points when Joshua King got his hat-trick. It came when Bournemouth attacked with plenty of numbers, and it ended up with Jack Wilshere taking a shot that is saved by Randolph, but he can only parry it into the path of King, who was in the right place at the right time to smash the ball into the net. And that's a game would end a big win for Bournemouth, as they tried to get themselves out of this bad run that they found themselves in, with this being their first win in 2017. West Ham did well to come back twice, but Bournemouth did even better for getting themselves back in the game following their 2 missed penalties. It would have been a lot easier to let their heads drop and decide that today wasn't their day. But they kept going and came away with all 3 of the points, and with this result Bournemouth are in 14th and West Ham are in 11th. And we move on to Everton versus West Brom. Everton were all over West Brom for the opening half, but it would take them 40 minutes to find the net. It came when Romelu Lukaku links up with Ross Barkley and it falls into the path of Kevin Mirallas, and the Belgian tucked home with ease. And Everton would double their lead on the brink of half time when Morgan Schneiderlin got his first goal for Everton. The move is yet again started by Romelu Lukaku when he does well to turn his man and play a pass that split the West Brom defence, and it ended up with Schneiderlin dinking the ball past Ben Foster. And Everton would put the game to bed in the 80th minute when they got their 3rd through Romelu Lukaku. It came when Ross Barkley had the ball out wide and he played a perfect cross directly onto the head of Lukaku, who headed the ball past Ben Foster for his 19th league goal of the season. And that's how the game would end. Really nothing else that I can add. Everton well deserved winners, as they were far better than West Brom on the day, as West Brom were just abysmal. This result kept both teams exactly where they started the day, but it extended the gap between them, with Everton in 7th and West Brom in 8th. And we move on to Liverpool versus Burnley. Liverpool's record of beating the bigger teams and losing to the smaller ones looked like it was going to continue, as only 7 minutes into the game Burnley took the lead. It came when Matt Lawton played a perfect pass that about 3 players swinged at but missed, and it ended up with Ashley Barnes in tons of space as he stretched out and converted the ball home with the outstretched leg. And after this goal, Liverpool was shocking. Burnley were great, they deserved the goal, and they looked like they were going into half-time with the lead, but Liverpool would have other ideas as they equalised the scoring with the last kick of the half. It came when the cross is whipped in by Divock Origi and is flicked on by Jorginho Wijnaldum. His first shot is deflected off of Ben Mee and it falls back to Wijnaldum, and with the second bite of the cherry he makes no mistake and puts the ball in the back of the net. And Liverpool would take the lead in the 60th minute through Emre Can. It came out of nowhere really, when Emre Can had the ball from about 30 yards out and there seems to be nothing on for the German, but he took a shot that was low and it curled into the bottom corner. Tom Heaton really should have done better with this one though, as it wasn't the fastest shot, and if he took a step the other way, it would have been a very, very comfortable save. And that's how the game would end, a very ugly win for Liverpool. And if I'm honest, we didn't deserve the win. Burnley deserved at least a point, if not more. They were the better side in the first half and decent in the second, whereas Liverpool were awful in the first half and bad in the second. Possibly the worst Liverpool performance I've seen all season. But with this result, Liverpool stay fourth, extending their lead above Arsenal to 5 points, but the Gunners do have 2 games in hand, and Burnley, still without an away win all season, are down in 12th. And we move on to Hull versus Swansea. Jesus, what a boring first half. Nothing happened, only 3 shots in the entire first half, and we wouldn't get anything we're talking about until the 70th minute when Hull took the lead through substitute Umar Niasse. It came when Abel Hernandez played the ball through, and Niasse timed his run perfectly to stay onside, and he calmly put the ball underneath Lucas Fabianski. And Hull would double their lead only 5 minutes later when Umar Niasse got his second of the match. It came when a cross is played in and Niasse takes a touch before absolutely smashing it into the back of the net. But Swansea would make the ending interesting, as in the 90th minute they got a goal back through Alfie Mawson. It came when Swansea put a free kick into the box, and on the end of it was Mawson who was able to head home. And that's how the game would end. Hull were able to hold on to the point, and what a big win that is at the bottom of the league. With both of these teams being near the bottom, those 3 points of Hull were massive, as that reduced the difference between these 2 teams to 2 points. With this result, Hull moved up to 18th and Swansea are in 16th, but take my word, that bottom 5 will change come the end of the season. And finally, we've got Manchester City versus Stoke. I mean, what can I say? A 0-0. Manchester City deserved to win, but fuck me, Stoke were resilient. Stoke defended well and were able to stop Manchester City from scoring, and this point could be crucial in Manchester City's hopes for the title. Plus, who was even watching this match? This was on the day that Barcelona thrashed PSG 6-1 to come back in the Champions League. Who in their right mind would watch Manchester City versus Stoke? No one. With this result, both teams ended the day where they started, with Manchester City in 3rd and Stoke in 9th. Right, so that's all the fixtures I've got for you this week. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Down with the top 5, and as you can see, Chelsea are at the top. They didn't play this week. Tottenham are 2nd. They didn't play this week either. Manchester City are 3rd after being held by Stoke. Liverpool are 4th after beating Burnley. And Arsenal are 5th. They didn't play this week either. Arsenal are in the better place here, as not only do they have a game in hand of Chelsea, they could easily climb back into the top 4 as they have 2 games in hand against Liverpool. Moving on to the bottom of 5, and Sunderland are still at the bottom. They didn't have a league match this week. Middlesbrough are 19th. They didn't have a league match this week. Someone who did have a league match this week and took advantage of it was Hull, as they moved up to 18th after beating Swansea. Crystal Palace are 17th. They didn't have a league match this week. Swansea did play, and they are in 16th following their loss to Hull. Moving on to the top goal scorers, and as you can see, Romelu Lukaku has moved to the top following his goal and 2 assists this week. That took him up to 19 goals and 5 assists for the season. The rest of the top 5 didn't play this weekend, so I'm just going to rattle through them. Harry Kane is 2nd, 19 goals, 4 assists. Alexis Sanchez 3rd on 17 goals and 9 assists. Diego Costa is 4th on 17 goals and 5 assists. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic is 5th on 15 goals and 4 assists. Right, so that's all I've got for you this week. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be back next Tuesday for the next episode of the Premier League review. God damn, I'm getting good at that. Like I said earlier, I'm sorry if this video is shorter than the rest in the series, but hell, what can I do? If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can. The link is in the description, or it's at @portionofsport_. If you want to follow me on Twitter or subscribe to my personal YouTube channel, the links to both of those are in the description as well, or my channel should be popping onto your screen round about now. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I've been Mark from Portion of Sport, and I'll see you soon.